Hello everyone, my name is Prashant and I welcome to your channel Reliability Odyssey. So today we are going to see the functionality of Invocation Channel. This video is part of Integration Masterclass that we are learning. So what is the use of Invocation Channel? This is primarily used when we want to send data from Maximo to an external system synchronously. So whenever we want to have any outbound synchronous transaction, the way to do this particular thing is invocation channel. So this is one diagram which you might have seen earlier, and I would like to use this to explain the functionality to you. So basically we have two things here. First of all, we have Maximo. So this big box is Maximo, and then we have external system. So in this case, we have to send data from Maximo to external system. Say for example, we are sending SR data from Maximo. Whenever SR is created in Maximo, that particular SR is going to another external system. So first of all, we will be doing the transaction from the UI in Maximo, and then the invocation channel will basically use the object structure to get the data, and then it will use the invocation channel will do a request call, and that particular request call will be done to the external service or external system. Now there is a component involved endpoint. Endpoint is the place where we will be giving the details of to which service or which URL we want to send the data. So in that case, endpoint is the place where we will be keeping the connection details for this particular external system. Once the external system is going to receive the data, it can send us a response back. It may send us response back, it may not send us response back. It totally depends upon what are the functionalities which are built in this external system. But generally in enterprise systems, we always have option that we get the response back. So once you are going to send SR in our example, you will be getting a response back, and that will be processed by the invocation channel again, and you can basically use this particular response and you can save it if you like in anywhere in Maximo to showcase that transaction has been completed successfully. In case of any error, you can also process the response. In case external service is giving us the error, then you can also process it, and then you can also showcase it to user on the Maximo UI. So we are actually going to see a demo of this particular feature. So what exactly I have done is I have basically created one external application. I am just saying at Spectre SR console, and you can understand that this is external system which is interacting with Maximo, and we want to integrate this particular external system. This particular external system has ability that it can create SR. You can view the SR, and you can also update the SR. So here, this particular external system has a web service. I have built a web service to showcase this thing, and if we access this particular URL, you can see this is basically a web service. So we have enabled and give the ability for our Maximo to use this particular web service to send the data towards this particular external system, right? And in Maximo, let us see what is going to happen in Maximo. So in Maximo, we are basically going to create an invocation channel. So obviously you will give a name to invocation channel. The point here is that you will be having an endpoint. So if we go to the endpoint, as I mentioned, endpoint is the place where you will be keeping the detail of the particular external system. So in my case, for this particular system, this website which I have created, or you can say this web application that I have created, I am basically going to give the detail of this particular system. So here you can see that I have basically put an endpoint URL. This is the endpoint URL where I will actually be able to send the data from Maximo in XML format. Then there is a method. So there's a MEP. In MEP, you basically, there are multiple different methods which are available. So I am doing send robust. Then there is a service name. So this particular external system that I have has a service. So basically this is a web service. So it has web service as well as API endpoint both, but we are using web service here. So for the case of web service, this is the name of the web service which we have, and then this is the action. Post SR is basically an action. So if I open SOAP UI, and if I use this particular WSDL which I have shown here, So if I will basically create an SOAP UI client, you can see I have two methods available in this. So first method is a get SR and the second method is post SR. So get SR will basically give me the SR data, and post SR is something which I can use to post the data, right? So here you can see I have posted it and then it has basically given me a response. So important thing to notice here is that we are basically sending ticket ID, description and status. This is the request parameter which we are passing from Maximo to this external system, and in return it is providing me result. So it is giving me the ticket ID and it is giving me a result. So what exactly I want is that I will create SR in Maximo. This particular SR should be available into my external system, and in Maximo I should also be getting the response. So in this case I am going to set the response. This particular response should be available into the description, right? So just to showcase to this, so basically as I mentioned, we have an endpoint. In the endpoint we have put the detail. So for the post transactions, then you will see both two sections here. So first of all, one important point is that before going further, whenever you are going to get invocation channel, as soon as you click the new button, you have this process response checkbox available. If you want to process the response, you have to check it and then save it. Once you are going to save the invocation channel, after that you cannot basically modify. So you have to decide whether you want to process the response before the first save that you are doing. So now we are having two particular sections here. So first section is request, another one is response configuration. So if we see request configuration, we have one object structure. So this is nothing but a typical object structure, simple object structure, out of the box object structure of service request we have. And then we also have another section which has response configuration. So in the response configuration, we also have a object structure. So what does this signify? Request object structure is something which you can use when you are sending the data from Maximo to external system, and response object structure is the object structure which you can use when you are getting the response back. So as I mentioned, in my case, when I am sending ticket ID, description and status, I am getting ticket ID and the result back. It can be success, it can be failure, right? So here in this case, I am basically using the same object structure, because what I am actually going to do when the SR will be submitted, I will actually be sending this to external system, and I will basically read the response, and for that particular response, I will be setting the status into the description of this particular SR. Detail section of this particular SR, right? So in this case, you can have same object structure, you can also have different object structure. It totally depends on your requirement. Okay, here in the service, you can also see that there are some other attributes which are also available. So you have processing classes and user exit classes. Similarly, in the case of response also, you have processing classes and user exit classes. So these are the Java classes, or now you can also handle using automation script when you want to do some kind of transformation in request or response. So for example, when you are sending SR data to this external system which I have, I want to do some kind of manipulation. I can do either in processing class or in user exit class, and when I am getting the response back, I can also do any kind of manipulation, any kind of validation before data gets saved. I can do that on the response processing class and user exit class. You can also do this particular processing on the object structure level. So we will talk about all these things in much detail on a upcoming video that we are going to have in our Let's Learn Automation Script series, where we are going to cover different kind of integration scripts in detail, right? But for now, for you to understand, you can do manipulation in request and response using automation script of Java classes, and then that will be mentioned in this attribute. Then the one other component which is very important is request XSL file, and then in response you have response XSL file. So what is XSL file? Whenever you are dealing with XMLs, in that XML has tags, and if you see this particular, if I show you this particular XML, so you can see this particular WSDL basically has XML tags, right? So here I have attributes like ticket ID, description, status, I have these, right? Now these are the same tags which are available which I have coded into this external service. So that's why there is no need for me to do any kind of manipulation. But in the case of response, I have a tag success, and I want the success to be updated into the long description of SR. So for doing this, I can also use XSL mapping. Similarly, you can also know that whenever we are sending a data outbound, right, we have a tag publish, right, and whenever Maximo process the data, we need sync tag. So if you are doing any transaction where you are manipulating these tags between publish to sync or vice versa, or any other kind of manipulation you can do in the structure of the XML that you have to use XSL mapping, and for that particular thing we have to write a XSL file, right. So in the case of mass, you need to use S3, or if you have persistent storage in mass, then you can keep it there in case of on-prem. Otherwise, in the case of cloud, you have to use S3. It can be AWS S3 or it can be IBM cloud storage. It totally depends on what is the underneath architecture or the tech stack you are using on the mass. So here in this particular case, as you can see, I basically have an endpoint. So EM360 S3 is basically an endpoint. This endpoint is actually telling me the detail of my S3 bucket, similar to as I have one endpoint here. This particular endpoint is having the detail of my external application which I have. In the case of EM360 S3 endpoint, it is basically have the detail, the server detail and the authentication detail to access my S3 bucket. And you have to give colon and then name of the file. So in this particular case, I have ps_sr.xsl is the name of the file. The mapping, this particular file, XSL mapping file is going to have extension that is .xsl. So I can show you here. So if you see, this is my S3 bucket which I am accessing, and here this is that particular file. So if I open this file, this is a file which you can see. So here what exactly, you can see that we are basically doing the manipulation of, we are reading the response, right, and in the response we are basically getting the ticket ID, which is the part of the ticket which will be mapped over ticket ID, and then we have another tag description_long description. So for any response that we are getting, we are reading the response, that we are reading the XML tag, and whatever value is there, whether success or fail, we are basically setting into description_long description. You can do this particular thing using automation script as well, but in this case, this kind of simple transformation you can also do using XSL. So we can discuss in XSL mapping in much detail if you guys have a need. So if you need me to make a separate video to explain more about how to handle XSL mapping in mass and what XSL mapping is, then please drop a comment below this particular video and I will prepare a detailed video for that. But for now, for handling the transformation and mapping the value of result into the description_long description, we are basically using the XSL mapping, right? For you to again understand, so whenever we are sending request a ticket ID, description and status, and we are getting a response, so we are getting ticket ID which will be mapped to ticket ID, but we are mapping result, we are also getting result, and this particular result tag is going to be mapped with description_long description, as I have shown you into XSL mapping. Now, other than that, what we exactly need, so we have basically prepared this invocation channel, and now we need to have an ability to trigger this invocation channel, because this particular invocation channel is available, but how Maximo will know that when exactly this invocation channel need to be triggered? So basically you can create an escalation, or the better way is you can actually handle this in automation script. So here what exactly I have done, I have basically put together a very simple automation script, right, and I am basically using a simple one-line code which says service.invoke channel. So basically the service object provides us a method invoke channel and the name of the invocation channel which you want to invoke, right? And this particular script is basically, if you see, this is a I'm calling this particular method on the save of the SR. So whenever there will be add and update on the SR, I am basically going to call this script, and I am going to, with this script using the invocation channel method, I am going to call the invocation channel. So this invocation channel is going to use the endpoint and going to push the data to this external system, right? So here let us, I can actually show you a quick demo so that it is much clear. So see here, I am basically going to my SR app, and you can see that this particular app right now, this has 2 ticket IDs, right? And this is something which I have created from this console itself, right? So now what exactly I am going to do is, I have this particular setup enabled where I am actually going for a service request, and I am going to create a new SR. I can say oil leak in pump. I am leaving the detail section, which is the description underscore long description, blank, right? I will select the site, I can select the asset. So in this case, I am saying there is a oil leak, and I will save the SR record. So you will see, as soon as I'm saying the SR record, you will see there is a spinner. What exactly is happening is that this particular script is being called. Using this script, it is invoking this particular invocation channel, and it is taking the data of ticket ID and our description and site ID. It is taking, and sorry, status. It is taking that particular data, and it has posted to the external system web service. External server web service has processed it, and it has basically returned response as success. So if I go here, and if I will refresh this, you can see there is a new 2237, which is the same SR number here, oil leak in the pump. This particular SR has been created, right? So this is the demo which I have put together for you for to understanding invocation channel. So I believe things will be much clearer now, and you will be able to work with invocation channel. So stay tuned for further content, and we will learn more in the case of integration as well as automation script. So till then, please take care of yourself. I do request you to like this particular video, share with your friends, comments, so that we get a much more visibility. Thank you so much.